Hello, hello, hello. I joked on uh, my year in 2020 books or whatever I happen to call it about I'm crapping on all these other booktubers books that I don't know if they recommended, they talked about on their channel, and that I went, oh, that sounds interesting, that sounds fun, or was it, maybe that's a worthwhile read, and a lot of those books I really enjoy. But there's some books that land with a thud, and of course, I talked about books that I really loved. Steve Donahue got me into really heavily reading Anthony Trollope, which has been an infinitely rewarding thing, and I really thank him for that. Jason Old Blues Chapter and Verse got me into got me back to Hilary Mantel, and boy, I'm really glad that I did that. Dane Cobain, I'm pretty sure it's through him I learned about Charles Heathcote, which of course I didn't actually mention in my year wrap up, even though I'm pretty sure I read Our Doris during this year, and I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. But at the same time, I found there were other books that were duds for me. They were duds for me. That didn't work out, and that's just some books that are just aren't going to be successes, and that's sort of that's a part of the reading thing. Having duds makes the high points higher. I was just thinking about that because I'm sure plenty of people have come to my videos and heard me go on and on about how much I love a book and how great it is, and have gone to that book and gone, yeah, whatever, which is totally understandable. I have this thing of sometimes I get stressed when I get people say, wow, I really enjoyed your review, I'm going to pick up that book and try it. I'm like, oh God. And I get that anxiety about like, oh God, will they like the book anywhere, will they like the book? It's like, I get stressed there. But I think it's kind of, it's one of these things, so I felt guilty as I was doing it, as I realized I was doing it, that I was going, oh man, I'm mentioning these books and I'm actually tracing them back to, this is why I picked up this dud, which was a dud for me. Maybe I could have discussions with the booktubers and say, these are the reasons I didn't like the book. Steve would probably appreciate that on just a okay, there was technical things I didn't like about it. I also said macho bullshit about that particular book, which is admittedly maybe more of a subjective thing. The viewpoint character was definitely supposed to be a macho dude, and in a zombie apocalypse novel, I guess macho dudes would, surprise, they're in there. But as a sensitive soul who would be the first one eaten in a zombie apocalypse, I just didn't want to hang out with that guy, that character, and I didn't, get the goodwill. But that was my subjective reaction to a book, I guess what I'm saying is, I both apologize to the booktubers whose books I went meh about, but it's also, actually, you know what? I think those are the guys that I mentioned, and many others sort of know. It's like, well, you're gonna like some of the books that I like, you're not gonna like other books, the books that I don't like. I don't think I've ever had anyone come back on the channel and say, why the hell did you recommend that? That's a crappy book. I'm sure I have recommended books that people have thought, wow, that was crappy. I don't know if, and here's the thing is, I always get a little queasy when someone says, oh, thank you for recommending that book. And it's like, I always like, I don't recommend books. I just talk about them, and however it comes out is, I guess, if I sound enthusiastic about a book, I'm just enthusiastic about the book, and it could be for various reasons, and I try and list those reasons. Am I trying to weasel out of the thing? It's just like I'm not a bookseller, and some of the best booktubers on this have been or were, or have that experience of selling books to other people, going like, you know what, I think you might like this book, and I don't have that experience. I don't know if I'd be that good of a bookseller. I know what I like, and I can hopefully communicate that, but it's like I'm exploring books. I'm exploring books on my channel. I'm not. I think maybe this is the resistance I have of doing wrap-ups and running through great numbers of books, is that's like, yeah, I know that's really helpful for people who are looking for titles and looking for stories, to run through a whole bunch, not to just kind of focus on one book in one video to great length. But that's something about that is I think about what I enjoy doing is not so much kind of listing out books that, hey, you might like this or you might like this. It's like I like focusing in on one particular book and kind of trying to work it out in my head. Except, I mean Motor Mouse, so when I mean work it out in my own head, I mean just yakking away about it in a video. I'm going to try and make my videos more focused, try and come up with a structure for reviews as I go forward in the year. I've tried it before and it hasn't worked. And a part of that is because I'm trying to work out what I think of a book, and I rebel against structure because I don't have a very structured mind. I go off in all directions, as you can probably tell by this video. But that said, I do a review, I publish it, and I think about it, and I go, wow, I didn't talk about this part of the book or this part of the book, or I'll not talk about language, I'll not talk about setting, I'll not talk about, I'll just kind of, there'll be one thing that's niggling at me, and I'll have a tendency to just talk about that, which is good, but it would be good to kind of note the other things, just to give people, I feel like I'm leaving out good hunks of the story there about, I like this book, and here's the general context of the book, and then I can focus in on what's the thing that has got me thinking about a book, what's the thing that I center in on, but also mention those other things to give people a better context about what I'm talking about, to make the argument I'm having with myself more understandable to those people around me. And which still means that people are going to watch my videos, and they're going to hear me enthuse about a book and go, and then pick it up and go, wow, I don't see that at all. And there's plenty of books that appear on one person's top 10 list, and that are on the other person's the very bottom dregs of the year list. But I guess I'm sorry for shit talking you guys, because I wasn't shit talking you guys. I was just saying I didn't like the book, and I have a bit of guilt about that, because I think it's my fear is someone's going to come back at me and say, wow, you steered me wrong. But it's also me. This is also a video of me going like, I'm not here to steer people as much as I am to just have a conversation about books. And admittedly, for me, probably 95% of that conversation is with myself, because when I'm reading, I'm arguing with the book, I'm arguing with myself, I'm trying to figure things out because I'm such a bonehead. And I need that. I need this to really really drain the ink from the books, whether it's e-ink or regular ink or audio ink or whatever the fuck this is why I'm not a writer. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to have that little chat, most likely just with myself. More videos later.